What's going on, gamers? This is Kyoryu, and I'm back with more of the Haunted PS1 demo disc. Now today we're only going to look at about 4 of them. I initially was going to do some individual playthroughs of some of these because I'd found out that they were actually outside of the demo disc as well. But it turns out some of them were shorter than I wanted, or had an abrupt end, or otherwise it just seemed better to do them in a compilation like this. Now the demos we're going to look at today are Tasty Ramen, Orange County, Sauna 2000, and Dread Delusion. Like every game that's been in this demo disc so far that I played, they are all first-person based games. Now, I would have liked a little bit more of a variety compared to, you know, what we're getting. But first-person horror games tend to be the easiest to make, so it is what it is. That aside, it doesn't mean that any of them are particularly bad, except for one that I really did not care for this time around, but I'll get more into it when we get to that game. Alright, our first game for the day is Tasty Ramen. It's a fast-paced collectathon style game with a mascot character called the Hot Horror Ramen Monster, or something along the lines of that. In this game, you are looking for keys to try and get out of the shop without being caught by the little ramen monster thing. Now, this seems pretty straightforward, and it is. You run around the shop, you try and find keys, and you avoid getting attacked by the monster. If the monster touches you, it's game over. Now, there's one key in the door when you start off, and I think you have to collect about 7 more, and that's about it. That's really it for this one. It's just you picking up some keys, trying to distract the monster, and getting out, and yeah, that's really it. Now, with it being that simple, I actually really did enjoy this one. I ran around for probably about 10 minutes playing this one. It is really easy to die initially. I think I died about twice before I finally got the hang of the controls. They're a little floaty, and trying to distract the monster is not as easy as I thought it would be. I did throw some ramen packets and stuff, and it didn't really seem to distract it too much, but it's really not that difficult of a game. It's just, you know, run around, pick up the keys, run to the door, and try and do it as fast as you can. Now, it is a really cute game. I do like the graphical style for it. The art is adorable and looks very PS1-esque. I wouldn't really call this so much of a horror game. It does kind of remind me a little bit of maybe Slenderman or something with a stalker to it. I'd like to see more levels to it. It's just the one. It's very short, and I'm really hoping the developer builds on this one going forward. Now our next game is called Orange County. Now this is the only one that I have played so far throughout all the demo disc games that I really did not like. Now unlike all the other ones, this one is more of a sports game, I guess is the way to put it. It's a first-person skateboarding game with a procedurally generated world. The controls are, how do I say it kindly? They're not good. They're very bad. I really don't like this one at all. You move around in first person. I found it very hard to control, and I really did not see how this one was a horror game in any way, shape, or form. It didn't even really give me any spooky vibes outside of the fact that you couldn't really see anything because the field of view was low, or just there's a weird filter over the entire game. Now, it seems the objective is to just skate around a world and maybe collect cans, I just said. Actually, let me read a quote from the developers on this one about this game. Description: the ever-circling specter of Elon's children, the beige. Middle-class housing cluttered like teeth in a robotic maw, the beige. The ever-present hum of the sprinklers, the beige. Sometimes your skateboard feels like the only real thing in this place. Stop it. Now, with that pretentious description aside, I just overall didn't really find much enjoyable about this one. It's there. It kind of just feels like padding for all the other better games that are in this demo collection. Now, if that interests you, if you really need an indie first-person skating game, there you go, you got something. Maybe there's more depth to this game, I don't know. I didn't really see much in it, and the camera gave me a lot of motion sickness, so I just wanted to be over with it as soon as possible. Alright, now for our third game, we have Sauna 2000, an interactive first-person adventure game. Your task in this one is fairly simple. Chop wood, bring water from the lake to the sauna, warm the sauna, heat the bathing water, enjoy, and drink beer responsibly. Now, the thing that sets this game apart from all the other ones is its use of voice acting throughout the game. Now, the whole game is narrated by your player character, who is unnamed, and also in the background there's music and radio programs done in the Finnish language. Now, I did play this one from start to finish, but the game starts out fairly simply. You look for your axe, chop some wood, and then you complete each task that's on the list. As you complete each task, the world starts to change a little bit. The sun starts to set, and you'll see a demon or something kind of walking around, and starts to change the atmosphere of the game. The game maintains its lo-fi look throughout the entire playthrough, but eventually it will change into a bit more of a visually intensive, trippy, almost fever dream-esque. There's another warning on this one, just like the game in the previous video. This one will have a warning for epilepsy or any type of photosensitivity, because once things start to change a lot, which is towards the end of you completing the task, the environment changes completely, and there's a lot of flashing lights, pop-in textures, things like that to try and change the feel of the game to be more of a psychedelic horror game. I really did enjoy this one. This was probably one of my favorites out of this grouping. As development on this game progresses, I wouldn't mind revisiting it here and there if they have any more demos or a full product once it releases. And finally, our last game for today. This is Dread Delusion. Now, the thing that stood out to me about this game the most was its visual presentation. Typically, this type of game doesn't appeal to me too much, but I was really blown away by the visuals of the game. As soon as starting up, it seems like it just can be kind of a typical fair medieval or just fantasy style RPG. Once you venture out of the first room into the world, you see the stark difference between the architecture and the bright pink maroon-esque sky and the giant glowing orb in the sky as well. Now, the first thing I drew a parallel to this was From Software games. Visually kind of reminds me of a blend of Dark Souls 3 and maybe Bloodborne, but has more of a unique personality and really does give that feel of what I kind of look for in like old 90s games or maybe early 2000s adventure games. Now, this demo doesn't really show a whole lot that the game will have to offer. You are introduced to the choice system, which in this game you can choose between two different classes. One a warrior and the other one a scribe, and they both have their own abilities and focuses on stats in the game. Now, looking at the description on the page and checking out the developer's Patreon, the game is hoping to include several towns, more NPCs, a lot of quests, and you can upgrade your stats, collect gold, buy items, things you'd normally find in an RPG, and a bit of an open world to it as well. Now, I'm very interested in that style of the gameplay, but you don't really get to see that much of it in this demo. There's no combat in the demo from what I experienced. You do get to walk around the town, interact with one NPC, maybe one more. Most of the NPC dialogue takes place in the transitional menus, which you can read through the dialogue, click some choices, and the only other NPC I was able to meet was the one that kind of looks like a realistic interpretation of Spooky from Spooky's Jump Scare Mansion. However, I did enjoy my time with the game. It was visually appealing. Now, I really wanted to play through more of this game. I went through the entire demo, but it kind of just abruptly ends, and there's really no combat or anything else to do, but it gives you a taste of what there is to come. Now, this one I will be keeping an eye on and possibly even keeping up with the Patreon, the itch.io page for this one, because I really want to learn more about this world, and I really want to see what the gameplay is going to be. Well, this wraps up the second part of the Haunted PS1 Demo Disc series. I really hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments below which one of these games was your favorite, and if there's any more that you are looking forward to. Now, for sure, other than the Orange County one, I am definitely going to be keeping an eye on all the games that we showed today. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, and then also find me on Twitter and check me out on Twitch, where I stream games daily. I usually focus on retro, but a lot of horror games as well. Well, that's it for me. Thank you for watching. My name's Kyoryu, and I will see you next time.